Hi, welcome to part 2 of predicting with spreadsheets. In this part we're going to be looking at collecting the data. If you haven't used a spreadsheet before, then what you'll need to do is to watch this short introduction, which will give you enough information so that you can work on the spreadsheet in an effective way. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to take a look and see what our problem is. Now the problem that we face is, how do we know when we have enough toilet paper? Our solution is going to be to collect data on how much paper is used per visit to the bathroom. We also need to know how many people will be home with us each day. That may vary. We're going to work out an average per person per day, so an average number of sheets. How many total squares are used in our house per day? How many squares there are in a roll. Then we'll need to work out how many days a roll will last, and then we also need to work out how many rolls that means each week that we'll need, and from that how many rolls will we need each month. And we're going to use a program like a spreadsheet to go through all of that. So again, I'm using Microsoft Excel, but you could also use Google Sheets, or you could use Numbers by Apple. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to collect data on how much paper is used per visit, and that's what this tutorial is all about. So here's my data research sheet that I'm going to leave in the bathroom so that the people who live in my house can fill it in. Notice that it's collecting data for basically a 24-hour period. I need to put it in a location where everyone in the house can see it. So in the bathroom is a good spot, and I'll leave some pens, or people can bring their own pen so that they can fill in the sheet as they go. Now we need to count how many people will be home each day. Now that'll normally be the same number each day because of the way that we're being asked to stay home, but that could change, and if it does change then we can make predictions based on what the new values are. So here's my data sheet filled in. You can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who live in my house, and they use various numbers of paper when they visit the toilet. Now I'm going to use a spreadsheet to collate this data. So my initial data is going to be made up of the people in the house, how many squares they use when they visit the bathroom, and I'm going to click the little box and drag that across so that it just copies across, which is a nice little feature. And then I'm going to transfer in the data that I've collected, which is squares used, and I'm going to put that next to the people. So once I've transferred this in, then I'll have enough data to start working out things like an average per person per day. So to work out the total, I'm going to use that sum function that we talked about in the first video. The sum function is going to be the range of cells from B5 to F5. Then I'm going to click that little box and drag down, and that's going to add up the totals for all of the residents in the house. So let's take a quick look at what happens when I click on that little square and drag down. When I click on cell G5, as you can see, the formula is equal sum B5 to F5, which is this range of cells. When I click on cell G6, you can see that the formula has changed to suit the new location, and it's adding B6 through to F6. And the same is true for the others. If I click on Hagrid, you can see that it's adding the cells between B9 and F9. Even though there's no data in all of the cells, it's still good practice to put the formula in, so that if Hagrid does come back and say, well, I forgot a second time that I went to the bathroom, we could put that number in and it would change the result automatically. In the next video, we're going to use our spreadsheet to answer the question, how many squares of toilet paper does my household need? See you then.